We certainly, Esther and I certainly appreciate your coming very, very much. And before we commence with speaking about my dear brother-in-law of blessed memory, it's fitting for us, this is a gathering. We all know of the tension, the fear, and the danger that is taking place now in Israel. So it would certainly be appropriate for us then to begin the program this evening with prayers, with psalms on behalf of our brethren in Israel, on behalf of Jews the world over, and then we will also say the special prayer for Tzahal, for the soldiers of the Israeli military. So let's rise. Now we're going to say it in Hebrew. We'll say it line by line. And I'll ask everyone to say it together with me. And you could look at the English is put together very clearly on the other side. So while we're saying the Hebrew, you can certainly look at the English, and you'll see how appropriate these psalms that we have chosen are.
Now
On the back page, see where it says on the bottom, we'll do the Hebrew and then the English. It's page 146, 147. Achenu in the Hebrew, and then our brothers will do together in the English. Let's start with the Hebrew on the bottom right of the page. Achenu kol beis Yisrael, ha'nesurim b'tzaro v'shiryo, omdinei hayom v'hayavosha, ha'elcham yirachem v'aleim, yotziei mitzara yirboa, u'me'apeila our brothers, the entire family of Israel, who are delivered to Israel's captivity, whether they are free or dry land, may Yahweh their Lord have mercy on them, and remove them from distress to relief, from darkness to light, from subjugation to redemption, now speedily and soon, and let us say, Amen. Prayer for the soldiers of Sahel.
Yishmerach Avosenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, hu yivarech et chayolei shelo ha'hagono liYisrael v'omdim al mishmar artenu v'orei Eloheinu migvul alvonon v'ad midbar Mitzrayim min hayom hagadol ad ulo v'arova v'yavosha v'avir u'bayom yitein Adonai es oivenu hakomim oleinu migotim lifneihem HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yishmor v'yatzil es hayolenu mikol tzara v'tzuka mikol nega u'machala yishlach bracha v'hatzlacha b'chol ma'aseh yedehem yidaber sonenu tachtehem v'atreim b'cheser Yeshua u'ba'ateret nitzachon v'kuyam v'hem hakashu ki Adonai Elokechem Aholech imachem lihilachem lachem im oidechem lahushia eschem v'nomar Amen. He who blessed our forefathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, may he bless the fighters of the Israel Defense Force who stand guard over our land and the cities of our God, from the border of Lebanon to the desert of Egypt, and from the great sea until the approach of the Arabah, on the land, in the air, and on the sea. May Hashem cause the enemies to rise up against us to be struck down before them. May the Holy One, blessed is He, preserve and rescue our fighting men from every trouble and distress, and from every plague and illness. May He send blessing and success in their every endeavor. May He lead our enemies under their sway, and may He adorn them with the crown of salvation and with the diadem of triumph. And may there be fulfilled for them the verse, for it is Hashem your God who goes with you to battle your enemies for you to save you. Now let us respond.
Amen.
Amen.
Let's be seated. Thank you all for being here. It means so much to Esther and I. And the words that I'm going to share are on behalf of both of us. As we were proceeding, we were in the middle of the funeral for my brother-in-law, one of my friends, a graduate, a very prominent graduate of the Yeshiva Chayim, was standing next to me during the burial, and he said to me that it's just hard to believe. He says, Kalman was larger than life. And it's true, it's really true. He was a giant person, not just a tall person physically, but a giant person. To me, he was a brother. To me, he was a dear, dear, trusted friend. And to me, he was a very, very important mentor. I wanted to start, before I speak about Kalman, I'd like to talk about a little bit about background and about my amazing in-laws. And the Kalman was the oldest child, 3 children, Kalman, Aaron, and Esther. They were, my in-laws, Sarah and Sidney Winter, of blessed memory. They were Americans. And they were an American Jewish family. I mean, my in-laws, my mother-in-law was as American as apple pie. Both my in-laws were well-educated. They knew, very acquainted with current events in the world, very acquainted with the arts, and this was an American family. This was a family where the kids grew up with Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle, and including Esther. You see, Esther was one girl with 2 brothers. And it was only after I became engaged to Esther that I found out that she could catch almost as good as a boy. Family grew up with stickball, and Kalman used to speak lovingly about how my father-in-law would come to the yeshiva every Sunday and pick up Kalman, the little boy, and afterwards they would go play ball, handball, stickball, and then they would go to a place in Williamsburg called Flounds, and they would buy a pickle. So this was it was an American Jewish family, but there was something very, very special about this American Jewish family. This was a family, both my in-laws sacrificed to keep Shabbos, sacrificed and at the face of losing jobs, one after the other. The house was an open house, always had guests. My mother-in-law, blessed memory, she was self-made religiously. In fact, when she started becoming observant in her early teenage years, the family told her, Sarah, if you become religious, you'll never get married. So she persisted, and she actually became an inspiration to her religious friends. During her early motherhood, she would go door to door to raise money for the day school that that Kalman attended. It was starting up, and she would knock on door to door, knock on one door and another door. And one person said to her, I'm sorry, I'm not giving you anything. So my mother-in-law said to her, excuse me, this is not for me, this is for you. Who's going to teach your children? Who's going to bury your dead if there's no Jewish education? My mother-in-law had guts. She had faith. If my mother-in-law had a halachic question, she called Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, the greatest sage of the generation.